Hey everybody and welcome back. I truly believe that the first week of a new farm can dictate the flow of your first year in Stardew Valley. I've started enough new farms lately that I have a bit of a pattern at this point, with contingencies for when things go wrong, because they do. A lot. If you want a bit of a guide for a solid first week that doesn't require tech like animation canceling, tools like predictors, or exploits like chair hopping, then you're in the right place. Let's see what we can squeeze out of 1 week as we set ourselves up for success. Each day has a timestamp, and there are some links in the description for some resources. Let's go! Our goals on day 1 are pretty simple. Let's move the bed and the TV and collect our free parsnips. Outside, we'll create a small planting area for the crops and water them. I'm going to set up a layout for basic sprinklers right away, and there's a link to a farm layout in the description that you can use as a template if you want. We're going to plant 13 of these parsnips right away here because that's the exact number we need to level up to farming level 1. And we need to plant 2 other crops with them later in the day. If we stick to 15 crops or fewer, we don't have to worry about crows, so we'll do that until we hit farming level 1 and can craft a scarecrow. Once that's done, we'll collect enough wood for at least 1 chest and clear paths to our north and south exits. There is nothing worse than getting stuck at one of those without the right tool at 1 AM. Before we head into town, let's drop off everything except our hoe. My route for interacting with villagers goes south first for Jazz in the late morning, then Haley, who should be entering the forest. Head into town to find Penny reading in the grass, Leah heading to Pierre's, Harvey heading outside, and Marnie walking home. If you don't catch Penny, Leah, or Harvey right now, that's fine. Next, head down to the beach and hope for an artifact. I didn't get one today, but if you do, you'll want to drop it off to complete a quest for some much needed early cash. Elliot is outside in the early afternoon. If you miss him now though, he'll be out on the bridge later. Then we're off to Clint's. Pam, Shane, and Sam are at Joja at this time, and Abigail should be at or near the bridge nearby. Evelyn, Caroline, Jody, Vincent, and Harvey are all around the town square. Consider giving Caroline a daffodil if you're trying to increase her friendship to take advantage of tea sapling strategies. We won't bother today since that's possibly outside the realm of a pure vanilla walkthrough. Leah is at Pierre's, so catch her if you didn't earlier and talk to Pierre as well. Buying things doesn't count as meetings, so you do have to go around the counter to talk to him. We're going to pick up a green bean and a cauliflower here, then we'll catch Maru on her way to the bench. Since I was a little early and Alex was still working out, I visited Gus at the saloon and caught Emily at home before heading over to talk to George and Alex right around 4 PM. Penny and Maru should be on the bench now if you missed them earlier also. This is a perfect time to go back home and plant your crops before heading north for our last few villagers, so let's do that. We should arrive at the mountain by about 6 PM, which means we can catch Linus and Demetrius and finally talk to Sebastian at around 7. That should give us everyone except Willy, who we'll meet up with tomorrow. Now go get any remaining forage in cinder sap and even the secret woods if you're willing to chair hop, and then cut down all the weeds you can reasonably reach. You're going to want to cut down trees or stumps if they bug you, and feel free to dip into the negatives on energy today. You can actually keep working until negative 14 energy, just don't go further than that. You can eat spring onions if you'd like to maintain your energy levels today, but I somehow didn't find any. This run was already cursed from day 1, I swear. Sell everything except stone, wood, coal, and fiber. Congrats, you're off to a great start. Don't forget to check the mail on day 2. You need Willy's letter if you're going to get your rod today. Water all the crops and empty your inventory other than your hoe, a crafted chest, and 1 fiber. Head down to Willy's, grab the bamboo pole, and give him a fiber to complete a journal entry for some gold. Plop down your chest and fish until close to 9 AM, then destroy or store your bamboo pole and get a training rod for 25 gold. Now it's just time to fish. You can chase bubbles if you want, or just hang out right outside Willy's. Ideally, you'll hit fishing level 2 today and catch enough fish to sell to Willy and buy the fiberglass rod and some bait. But between missing some early artifact money and getting a raw deal on forage yesterday, I didn't have enough money by the time Willy closed today. That's not a huge deal. It just means I'll need to start my day at the ocean tomorrow. Around the time that Willy closes, you'll want to pick up your chest and head up to the mountain lake, making a quick pit stop to drop off a single sardine at home if you have one. Ocean fish are just not really worth it in spring, and chubs are going to be a great energy source for us. If you get up to the mountain earlier in the day, you can also go for largemouth bass, which sell for a decent amount. Even though I have some money in my pocket, I'm going to fish here until I pass out. I'm close enough to 1,800 gold that I'm not too worried about losing the 10% that I'm going to miss overnight, but you may want to head home earlier. That's kind of a case by case. On the morning of day 3, we want to dump our pockets into our chest at home, keeping only the rod and hoe for potential artifact spots, as well as any food we need and bait we fished up. You might want to save a bullhead, carp, chub, and largemouth bass if you have any, but you could also sell those now if you really need the money to buy the rod. Since I found an artifact yesterday, I'm going to fish near the museum until it opens to get some extra cash from that quest. But normally I would head to the beach and fish until Willy opened. If you didn't get the fiberglass rod yet, now is the time. Sell everything you can and get that new rod. If you found any copper in any of your fishing chests, spend everything on bait. But if you haven't, make sure you save 75 gold to buy one piece of copper from Clint so that we can get the furnace recipe tomorrow. I kind of forgot about this, and I had to go fish up a couple more little sardines. Now it's time to make a decision. You could go for catfish today if you're feeling frisky, but I prefer to go back to the mountain for now because I value experience more than money today. Even a normal quality chub is worth more experience if caught perfectly than an equivalent level catfish that was not caught perfectly, like silver to silver, for example. And that doesn't even consider how many catfish we might lose at lower fishing levels. Anyway, there's not much more to say about day 3, but here are a couple of notes. Starting today, we want to consider saving one of each spring forage instead of eating or selling them. If you're planning to craft tea saplings, you'll want to save all your forage instead. To maintain your energy, eat your highest quality chubs first. They increase in energy regeneration faster than they increase in cell value. Fishing 5 today is our goal, and it is really important for this run. If you haven't hit level 5 fishing by the end of the day, you'll need to either start improvising tomorrow or just start over. I'm sorry. If you hit level 5 during the day, and you can check in your skills window, by the way, even though you won't actually see a notification until overnight. Anyway, if you hit level 5 during the day, you'll probably want to start bringing some items home so you can sell them tomorrow. I managed this by about 11:30, which was cutting it kinda close. By the way, please select the fisher profession overnight. Starting on day 4, you're going to want to check the weather if you haven't been. You really didn't need to until now. Rainy days are great for the river, but we won't go there often otherwise. You may wish to go fish for catfish instead of following this guide on rainy days, simply because you can make enough money fishing that it might be more valuable than the things I'm recommending. Today, though, we're going to sell some fish. You may want to keep jade, emeralds, rubies, and diamonds, as well as one of each of the fish required for the community center. The gems aren't a requirement though, so you'll be totally fine if you sell them. I would also keep any chubs of gold or iridium quality that you've caught, as they have a great energy to gold value, like I mentioned. Eating a single normal quality chub will let you cast 3 more times, and they really only get better from there. You'll also want to keep any resources like copper, coal, wood, etc. Otherwise, sell it all. Make sure before you leave today that you have enough wood or crafted chests to have one at the mountain lake, at least one at home, and a spare for tomorrow. If you left a chest down at the river, you might need to do some serious wood cutting today. I also got started on the very beginnings of a tree nursery today. I'll want oak trees growing here so I can tap them later. After those chores are done, it's time to head to the mountain. Fish here until 7, that's when the largemouth bass leave, and then make a trip home with a pocket full of stinky fish. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, it might not be a bad idea to wait until this time to do the wood cutting for chests. But whatever, that's fine. It's not a huge deal. Now it's back up to the mountain until about 12 or 12:30, whatever you're comfortable with. Did you remember to check the weather? If it's not going to rain tomorrow, you can leave your rod here. If it is though, you want to bring it home. Either way, bring your treasure, goodies, and most expensive fish home and sell them. Chop wood or whatever until 2 a.m. if you have time. Doesn't really matter. You need 2,000 gold for tomorrow, but you should have significantly more. Day 5 is going to be madness. Harvest your parsnips to hit level 1 farming. Yay! You'll be buying some crops today or tomorrow, but you don't need to worry about refilling those spots quite yet. Speaking of which, I haven't planted any mixed seeds because I want to be absolutely sure I don't lose my cauliflower. You could have been planting them all along if you wanted, but I was feeling paranoid while recording this, so I didn't. Count your current iron if you fished any up, then pick up your pickaxe, 25 stone, all your coal, and all your copper, as well as all but 1 parsnip. Unless you have any gold ones, leave those at home too. And then head to the mines. You'll want to drop a chest by the elevator and then rush to get 25 copper ore. Once you have that, you can build a furnace on the main floor, start a copper bar in it, and farm copper ore by going to level 10 and taking the stairs down to floor 11. Copper won't spawn on 5 or 10, but it's a quick walk to 11 to check there. You want 4 more copper bars, so you'll need 20 more copper ore. If you get that much copper early, it might actually be worth heading to Clint's pretty early in the day, since you can continue to smelt bars inside his shop and you don't have to worry about getting distracted in the mines. Either way, by about 2:30 or 3, you'll need to grab your furnace and any copper and iron you found and head to the blacksmith where you can set up shop and smelt the rest of your bars. Clint closes at 4, but you can interact with his counter until about 6:30 or 7 or so. So we'll just stay here until we have our 5 copper bars. Big alert time. This is important, and I did it wrong. Before you turn in your pickaxe, check your gold. We want to save about 1,100 for crops to hit level 2 farming, so we absolutely need to have 3,100 gold. Buy as much iron as you can afford to drain your gold down to that level, and only then turn in your pickaxe. If you turn in your pickaxe first, like I did, then you can't buy the iron and you'll have to scramble for the next couple days. If it's before 5, you can try to head to Pierre's and buy 1 potato and up to 14 kale. This is a stretch though, and I definitely didn't make it. Okay, time to take a deep breath. All you have to do for the rest of the day is take a chest, 25 iron and 5 coal, if you were smart enough to buy them, and your furnace up to the mountain lake. Fish and smelt and fish until about 12:30 a.m. Then head home with your iron bars, at least 1 coal, and sell your most valuable fish. If it's going to rain tomorrow, you'll want to grab your furnace too. Congrats! This was the hardest part of your week. Your week, not mine. Mine's going to suck. It probably would have been worth it for me to restart this day, to be honest, but I also wanted to show that even a mistake like that can be overcome. Assuming day 6 is sunny, we're going to get the community center cutscene today. Craft yourself a scarecrow and get your spots ready for the kale and potato you'll be buying today. If you get done with everything quickly, just cut down trees or weeds or whatever for a bit. Bring your fishing rod and enter the town via the bus stop map at 8 a.m. or shortly after to get the community center cutscene. Normally I would recommend not skipping this so you load in right at the community center and can immediately go inside and look at the little scroll thingy. But since I needed to buy crops anyway, I skipped the cutscene, bought crops from Pierre, and then went home to plant everything. I only checked out the Junimo finger paints on my way up to the mountain lake. Regardless, today is just a fishing day. If it's raining, catfish would be good today, and you'll just have to get the community center cutscene on your next sunny day. If you have any iron left, continue to smelt that. Today is another day where we don't want to pass out and we want to sell things instead, so I made 2 trips again. Once after 7 when the largemouth bass leave, and another close to 12:30. It's going to be really tight for me money-wise because I didn't buy my iron early, but you should go into tomorrow with at least 5,000 gold and hopefully above 7,000. Okay, day 7 is going to be kind of weird, alright? Normally, for you, okay, you would need to meet the wizard. Trade in your pickaxe for iron right away. Buy the backpack upgrade, and load back up on bait. Then after that, you would just fish until bedtime. But because I messed up on the 5th, my day is going to take a strange turn. I still checked my mail, met the wizard, and I still picked up my pickaxe from Clint. But then I sold some gems I'd found, cracked geodes, and bought enough copper to make a second furnace and enough iron to smelt the bars I still needed. I started a couple bars, made some donations at the museum, bought more bait from Willie, and went ahead and got my backpack upgrade. Then I fished for catfish, and I was really lucky it was raining, while I smelted my last 2 iron bars outside Clint's shop. When I had all the iron I needed, I turned in my pick and headed back down to Willie's to buy even more bait and fish up an eel for the community center. Wow. Even with a fairly significant blunder on day 5, I was still able to accomplish my goals, and you should be able to much more easily. On the 9th, your iron pickaxe will be ready, and you can zoom through the mines using your accumulated chubs for food. You'll hit farming level 2 on either the 12th or the 13th, depending on when you got your kale in the ground. From there, you can start making normal sprinklers and quickly expand your farm since you won't be wasting all of your energy on watering crops. I might delve further into this concept if people are interested, so leave me a comment if you want to talk about more early game optimization strategies that don't require any kind of bugs, manipulations, mods, or anything else. Thanks everybody, and I'll see you in the next video.